Hey fam, welcome to Punks for Progress. I'm Reverend Aaron. This is a what the fuck fam chat episode. Fam, I am joined by currently a couple members of the P4P Indiana Critical Thought Critique crew. We are listening to the Blasters in loving memory and appreciation of the passing of Gene Taylor, piano. Also the Fabulous Thunderbirds, and played with a number of other bands, but this is Trouble Bound by the Blasters. Let me switch on over here. Like I said, I've got Critical Thought Critique, P4P Indiana up in here, Commie Rob, and Comrade Price Nash. Welcome, comrades. So what we're gonna do is just some chill chat and back and forth. We'll talk about there's a new developments in the P4P project where we are basically joining forces with the One People's Project, Antifascist Report people, Daryl Lamont Jenkins. We'll talk a little bit about what that's all about. Talk about a couple videos we just put up on Punks for Progress this week. What do we got? There's a video that's solidarity with Pablo Hasél. So maybe we can talk a little bit about anti-fascist rapper under attack by the state in Spain. And then also put up a video about the NSU comrades, the fucking neo-Nazis that has state affiliations in Germany, based on that recent Redfish piece. I don't know if you comrades watched that or not, but that's the content we have up on the channel right now. And anyway, welcome, comrades.
Rise beat us, the real trend hit us. Back on the streets, so show them all what real hit us. Defy them, lead us. We stay united, they can defeat us. Get a blasty, we stay nasty. Revamp, stay tanks out, outlast them. I say the government like anti-pasty. We have handouts, hooligans, punks and crosses. Disgusting, that's how they call us. Now they by the circle, they got no crosses. Pass, we face the foes. Fangs and clothes, yeah, I've got some of those. That's how it goes, you take a stand. More than a band, you can trust a brand. I got a bad accent, you can't understand. But this beat to the floor, make a brand new head. Ski mask and tracksuit. You know we're the angry youth. We're back on the track to attack me, brother, and say the hood. Ski mask and tracksuit. You know we're the angry youth. We're back on the track to attack me, brother, and say the hood. 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 Stick in the walls, give me gaps, back it. I got the same calls with the same North Face. Check it, still making a record. Unity, bullet right, but who can't break it? Nah, we gotta one stop. Bring in the noise, make it so.
Have you been following what's going on with Pablo Hasél?
You can tell us more about that. Yeah, we actually caught up with the rise of the people wanting him set free, but we came into it late, so we actually don't know originally why he was arrested.
Okay, so I can help you with that, but call me Rob. Is it possible for you to get closer? Because you're real quiet being that far back. And plus, you like your comrade there, Price Nash, also have a very, very pretty mug to look at. So I'd like to see them both. That's what the people, I'm sure. So thank you, comrade, for moving in closer. So he's apparently been under attack for a few years now. And it's in relation to the things he tweets, the things he raps about, and things he's written in poetry form, which are, one, they're very critical of members of the Spanish royal family. Two, he pro-communist rhetoric. Three, supportive of the ETU, the Basque separatists, which engaged in a lot of very militant activities throughout the years. Um, but that's it. Just like basically rapping like I'm down with bad separatists. Fuck the crown. He called judge. He compared some judges to the Nazis, and that's it. That's what they're imprisoning him for, fam. And so then he barricaded himself in that campus with the solidarity of students there, but they raided it and guarded him off. So
basically, he was using freedom of speech and got in trouble for it.
yeah, like real freedom of speech under attack, right?
Right. It's funny because there's that fine line here where everybody has freedom, but as long as you don't step out of line with it, you don't get in trouble. I see that around the world, and it makes you really wonder what freedom of speech.
I agree with that, Drew. I keep calling you Drew. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I agree with that wholeheartedly, Kami Rob. And like, can you mute for a sec, guys? Avoid that. I got a loop. But in the video that I put up, it's called Solidarity with Pablo Hassel. I talked about how this is a global thing that's happening. This isn't like something that's happening in a vacuum in Spain where this just one regime happens to be targeting this leftist. This is an interconnected fucking full-on assault on any type of freedom, right? Like it's not akin to the sort of aligning of Mussolini, Franco, Hitler et al. This is, I think, has the potential to be a lot more prominent. What are your thoughts on that, Fana?
Global fascism has been on the rise and still is. And, I saw Biden just approved a big missile deal to Chile the other day with the very Pinochet-esque regime still in place there,
Yeah, share with us. I saw headlines about that, Drew. Can you elaborate on this? Some more specifics of it.
Weapons He's also given. They're going into a similar deal like with Egypt. Most people are talking more about that and how repressive Egypt is, which it is. The Chile thing is a little more like on the nose, so for me, I guess, and it's all that's all Raytheon. Raytheon's one of, I think, the number 2 manufacturer in the planet right now. It used to be the first, and I can't remember the name of. Became number 1 recently,
but that's what all of this is in defense of, right? Like it's.
Yeah, I mean that's just something I need to educate myself more on is the company, and not just like names of like individual politicians, but the companies that are behind a lot of this shit. I think it's lost to a lot of people, including myself.
Because that's the thing, I know under Bush Jr. is when I really started embracing the term multinational, making a concerted effort to always put that before corporation, to articulate that these aren't American. I use the West a lot now too, right? Because it is Western imperialism. There is some capitalism in the East as well, but that's what it is. This is all, and fascism is a defense of imperialist capitalism, and that's what multinational corporations. they're not beholden to anything in America or in Spain or in Britain or wherever they go, or in the global South where they actually steal all the resources from that we maintain our consumer culture on, right? But the attacks on Pablo Hassel are a defense of all of that. Maybe not full on directly, right? But because he's trying to platform the ideology and the rhetoric, I guess, the revolutionary emancipatory rhetoric of, say, Basque separatists or communists from the past. And apparently, unfortunately, I don't speak Spanish, so I don't I can't listen to his music and fully get, I'm not well versed in his in his rhetoric and the things that he said and written, but apparently he's doing it in such a way that got their fucking attention, right? Because that's pretty fucking drastic, fam. Don't you think, to be like wanting to stick someone in prison for saying I like communists and Basque separatists and fuck a royal family? Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, there was one thing that I wanted to kind of put out there that I feel like anywhere from liberal to actual leftists are separating is the government from producers. Okay, like we understand that the government is influenced by those millions and billions and trillions of dollars, the money makers. And one thing, and we say we throw capitalism around as being the big problem, but I think we're detaching maybe a little bit from the capitalists create the government for themselves, and they can screw over the little people all they want. This is an exact representation of how now they're going to influence our art. We can't say this, write this, we can't think this because some big corporation doesn't want that kind of language, being spread. And I've only, I've only seen a little bit and barely can speak Spanish or understand it. But I feel like that's what he's doing. That's what I'm interpreting from what his lyrics. And that becomes the real danger. That's what I believe is the real danger. They can shut us up or, crush our youth channels or lock us out of Facebook or whatever. When we exactly are pinpointing, hey, wait a second, like Wall Street wrote Obama's health or something like that. They don't have to blame capitalism as long as we're not directly blaming how a capitalist company influences the government. And I think that that's what he does very well. He's connecting those things that most of us are not purposely pushing to do.
One of the things that it reminds me of, I guess, is well, it's like when we at Punks for Progress, I think pretty much everybody involved with it is very, very, very much fascinated with and trying to be forever better in tune with Panther history and Panther power. And but we know clearly that you can't just be all, yo, you got to check out the Panthers, dude. They made breakfast programs. It's badass. And you got to be down with it. You can't just be telling people that without also letting them know, like, they murdered those motherfuckers for doing this. Okay. I shouldn't call them motherfuckers. They murdered these righteous ass people for these efforts, right? Like, and bringing up, you cannot talk about the Black Panthers without bringing up the COINTELPRO tradition. So in the same vein, it's like when you want to really platform the voices of revolutionaries, and bring it to a large audience like Pablo Hassel does, you have to know about, man, understanding what the state did to the Black Panthers prepares us to, I think, deal better and protect ourselves from what the state will do. And I am more and more and more, I'm increasingly convinced that, of course, they're plotting to destroy every effort that we make, right? Looks like someone's joining us. Another member of the fam is, we got Comrade Joe from Stand Up and Fight Back. When he gets on, hey, comrade, just to let you know, welcome, one, but we're recording right now. So if you are not, we're not live, but I plan on posting this. So if you don't want your face seen or that kind of stuff, or even if you're not interested in being recorded at all, love to have you on with us, homie. But heads up, that's what we're doing. Cool. So I am going to show you real quick. Who's joined us over here is our comrade from Stand Up Fight Back. You see their ads in all of our content all the time. Welcome, homie. What we're talking about right now, I know you're up to speed on, is we're talking about Comrade Pablo Hassel. We're talking about free Pablo Hassel. So that's what we're on. But like I was saying, Call Me Rob, it's like when you espouse the rhetoric of emancipatory behaviors, revolutionary emancipatory behaviors, you have to be prepared for blowback. And again, if we can really internalize that Panther tradition and the way COINTELPRO respond to the Panther tradition, I think we can be better prepared to defend ourselves, because we have to expect, as revolutionaries, that they want to destroy anything and everything that we're trying, right? So yeah, those are my thoughts.
It's more dangerous to be espousing revolution than just criticizing the monarchy. I would gesture.
Yeah, what is that about? Like, to me, it's astounding that in 2021, saying shit about a monarchy, even in like, that one just threw me for a loop. Like, I understand why they go at you when you say pro-communist stuff, or if you're praising fucking militant Basque separatists. I get why the power structure gets mad, but like, isn't it a given that we hate monarchies now? Like, there's a lot of people who really, really hate monarchies, right?
Yeah, it's funny because there's two weird levels to monarchies, and I think for the most part, you have the one side that has this fairy tale, fictitious view of them, of a monarchy, that allows it to continue, and then you have the other side of like, hasn't this been dead? Shouldn't this have been dead like centuries ago? You know what I mean? And for a reason, for every good possible reason, that you could think they should be gone, or they have disappeared, over the years, over the decades. But then it's that weird fairy tale part of our society that in America, in the United States, you know what I mean? It goes into the whole like entertainment culture of fame and celebrity and whatever, where you have, I don't want to drag this on because I don't have a real developed thought of it, but the point being is like, you have celebrity and monarchy and this mysticism of wealth and enchantment and whatever, but the reality is like most of them are toxic, if not all.
Right, if not all. Word. And cool. I mean, unless you guys have any last thoughts on, I would just say, follow the hashtag of free hustle. That's what I've been seeing it shared the most. And again, there is a video on our channel. It's just called Solidarity with Pablo Hassel, and it gives you kind of all the basic details of what's going on with Comrade. And go check out their music. You know what I'm saying? Like, go to their YouTube channel. They have a shit ton of stuff available on their channel. And
Hugo Stiglitz. Lieutenant Aldo Rain. These are the bastards. Ever heard of us? We just want to say we're a big fan of your work when it comes to killing Nazis. I think you show great talent, and I pride myself in having an eye for that kind of talent. Your status as a Nazi killer is still amateur. We all come here to see if you want to go, brother.
But I also had another video up. Maybe we can talk about it a little bit. Did either of you happen to watch the Redfish? It's like a half-hour episode about the NSU, the neo-Nazis in Germany, and their state affiliations and shit. Did you guys happen to see that?
I wish I had.
No, I apologize. I have not got to it yet.
That's totally fine. Like, you know what stood out to me with it, if you guys could mute real quick because we're getting an echo. Thank you. But was, again, first of all, that the German state is employing and working with straight up well-known neo-Nazi terrorists and murderers from the NSU. And you know, the piece really covers a lot of ground too. It gets from the fucking ground level fash, fucking bonehead, sick, lame ass attempt at music scene, and it gets into the connections between that and the broader political party mechanisms of the NSU, specific acts of violence and terror and murder that they were connected to, and then the people who were known to have done it working still as direct informants and paid informants of the state, which they then take the money from the state and go and put it back into the organizing fucking efforts of the NSU and street level Nazi terrorists, fascists, and murderers. And again, can I just assert that and reiterate that it's in Germany, fam, where this fucking has not ended well there in the past, right? So I guess you don't necessarily have to see it, but what are your thoughts? I mean, it really, I suggest our viewers go and watch the whole piece on Red Fist, but I also put up my analysis of it. The piece is called NSU, German neo-Nazis with state affiliations, if you want to watch that on our channel. But I will say confidently that it outlines a very convincing argument for the activity I just described. And so knowing that, what are your, we were talking about how in the Pablo Hassel segment about the international nature of our struggle, right? And powers that are against us are moving internationally, and so we need to move internationally. But anyway, your thoughts, yeah.
I just have the hashtag of crush Nazis internationally, no matter where you are.
It's kind of a long hashtag, but yeah, my initial thoughts to that story is it kind of doesn't surprise me, to be honest.
Yeah, fascism's been on the rise around the world.
Like in France, even, and UK, everywhere, right?
Yeah, and I mean, there's a definite move towards it in each country. I blame the United States for leading it off with Trump. Well, was it led off by Trump, or was it led off in where?
Well, I would say in relation to that, Tommy Rob, that right, but also that in Europe, in a number of European countries, there's far right, full on, openly fascist parties that have may only be 2 or 3 members, but they got members sitting in parliament, and where here there's talk now of a patriot party, right? So clearly the U.S. has, our history of slavery and Jim Crow and all that stuff informed fascist parties in Europe. But I feel like maybe the political infrastructure in Europe is a little, I don't know if stronger is the right word. They're just more open about it. Like, we're fascists. Yes, this is what we are. And we're still, in America, we're still playing this game of like, no, we're just patriots and freedom America and God. Anyway.
So yeah, so if you go, I mean, if we think back to World War II, right after World War II, the U.S. was totally fine to leave known Nazis in power,
Right.
whereas the communists, the socialist countries, were like, no,
like in West Germany specifically, and shit. Even you know? So it's kind of always been there. Relationship to the technocrats in charge, and then the neo-Nazis on the ground. Is one way to put it.
Well, you're talking about that Gladio project, comrade, right? The stay behinds after World War II.
Also, yeah. There's the whole like I can't remember his name, but they got like one of Germany's top spies to create the entire freaking like West Berlin, like spy agency to like hunt for communists and shit.
And what are these? You'll see if you look at the if you look at the piece, either the full Redfish piece or the coverage I did of it. There's this is all tied in with specific pointed targeting of leftists in Germany, right? So the money that they're being paid to inform and work with the pigs, they're taking that money and then using it to like firebomb fucking anti-fascists and shit, right? And so that's why it just really seems to me like so reminiscent, like the people involved in all this, like they don't know the way Gladio worked, right? They're not aware of how liberal governments worked in tandem with far right fascist terrorists and murderers to subvert leftist organizing and communists and this kind of stuff, right? And so here it is, the same exact fucking behavior. And I just feel like maybe Gladio doesn't necessarily exist anymore as a specific thing, in the same way that like COINTELPRO, that specific program, isn't happening. But those activities are definitely far more sophisticated now, and it's, I believe, clearly an unbroken tradition, right?
Well, there's plenty of people that say there was a straight fascist coup in Ukraine. But now there's still all these neo-Nazis running around there. And, like, just starting to bring to mind just something about how, like, the talk of, like, counterinsurgency in the United States now because of January 6th, and you have a similar, you're describing a perhaps similar situation, I guess, in another like Western state of first world.
Word. I mean, it's all interconnected, and that's why, I'm proud. One of the things I'm proudest of most about the Punks to Progress project is that we're spread out so far all over this country. That and there's not that many of us, but we're all over the place, and we need to be better connected with what's going on in Europe. We've made efforts, and we have comrades and friends. Clearly, us as individuals, we know people outside of just the P4P project, but would really love to have some people from Europe regularly contributing and hanging with us, you know, so because there's so much that we can learn from our comrades in Europe, and at the same time there's so much they can learn from what we're doing here at home, right? Like with standing in solidarity with BLM and the things that we're doing here. And yeah.
I got a couple Munich Rash people that I can link up to get in on this if you want.
Oh, absolutely. You said Munich Rash. Is that what you said, comrade?
Rash Munich, yeah.
That would be. I don't even know how much I could express how much I would appreciate that. First of all, red and anarchist skinheads. Fuck yes. Yeah. And from Munich, I mean, guaranteed those comrades of yours are confronting firsthand on the street, toe to toe and face to face, exactly what we just spent the last 20 minutes talking about, right? I mean,
every fucking day.
And yeah, so let's do that. Let's talk. We'll talk in the Slack some more about it when we're off stream, and let's get some people in that, you know, that have the time, you know, and definitely. Let's talk
we just got to remember 9 hours. They're 9 hours ahead of us.
Word.
You mentioned the Bible. You've been talking about how it's your favorite book. And you said, I think last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what one or two of your most favorite Bible verses are. And why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal, so I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into.
It means a lot to you that you think about or cite.
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Even to cite a verse that
no,
you like.
I don't want to do that.
Old Testament guy or New Testament?
Probably equal. I think it's just an incredible. The whole Bible is an incredible. I joke very much so. They always hold up the Ark of the Deal. I say my second favorite book of all time. But I just think the Bible is just something very special.
As part of their series The Trump Files, Mother Jones has released information that suggests Donald Trump was influenced by the writings of Adolf Hitler. Ivana Trump told her lawyer Michael Kennedy that from time to time her husband reads a book of Hitler's selected speeches, My New Order, which he keeps in a cabinet by his bed. Did your cousin John give you the Hitler speeches? I asked Trump. Trump hesitated. Who told you that? I don't remember, I said. Actually, it was my friend Marty Davis from Paramount who gave me a copy of Mein Kampf, and he's a Jew. I did give him a book about Hitler, Marty Davis said. But it was My New Order, Hitler's speeches, not Mein Kampf. I thought he would find it interesting. I am his friend, but I'm not Jewish.
So speaking of building alliances, I've been in communication with a righteous as fuck comrade, Daryl Lamont Jenkins of the One People's Project and Idavox Report. And we're going to be combining forces with the P4P project, as it were. And I'm going to be, writing in-depth pieces for One People's Project, working on their rogues gallery, doing our best to utilize the resources of P4P to do exposés on individual fucking fash that have, bigger platforms looking into the background and history of these people. And which also means we're going to be uploading the weekly Idavox Report with Daryl Lamont Jenkins and Brian from Revolution Radio. And I'll probably start clipping segments of that for our channel and for One People's Project, and combining our video editing efforts over here at P4P with the efforts over there. So I just am really, this is the first announcement we're making of it. Really, really stoked that to be able to, it's a fucking honor and a half, fam, to be able to just contribute to what One People's Project does and the amazing work that Daryl does. And anyway, so your thoughts, fam?
Yeah, I'm way thankful for Daryl. I print all the T-shirts for One People, so doing more things is definitely big to me. You know, I don't just like being the T-shirt guy. You know what I mean?
Word. Well, you know, and that's why stoked to have you hanging with us, comrade, because you know, all of us are just, man, barely making it, working class, poor motherfuckers out here, but we got long histories with like punk rock but leftism more than sharing hashtags, you know, and I think that, not that there's anything wrong with that. Everyone's station in life is different, and what people are able to contribute varies. And I ain't trying to talk shit on anybody who their best effort amounts to collectivism. Collectivism can help, okay? But like, what I really, really thrive on and enjoy is the conversations and the back and forth with people who've tried a little more, right? Who've really got out and tried to say, okay, I'm about all this shit. Let's really make it happen, and let's see what this praxis is, and let's test the tactical theories and shit. And then, like, not that we all have all the answers because we've actually done some shit, but these types of dialogues with people with that type of experience, to me, is what I grow from the most as a leftist. So to be able to combine our efforts with One People's, it's a fucking honor, man.
Huge.
Right?
Yeah.
Critical thought critique, guys. Did you have any thoughts on our alliance, as it were, with Daryl and the One Peoples?
Grow it.
It.
Yeah. You know, it was an honor when you asked us to jump aboard. You know, everything that we wanted to do. All we wanted to do was be able to start showing people where leftist groups were in Indiana, what people were doing here to fight the system in any way, shape, or form. You know, you've been to our channel. It's everything from just a small group of people that are out feeding homeless people, all the way to, you know, protests for ending evictions, to anything else. And as far as I'm concerned, bring him in and grow as big as we can. I don't this, you know, even small amounts of momentum grow to be something larger. Using all of the information that we all shared with each other, the conversations on theory, the conversations on practice, you know, I'm all about it. Grow it and fight the power. Become the power is what I should say.
Release the power. You know, we have the power. It's just being stifled. You know, we're trying to do what we can to tear down the walls between, you know, that hold us from realizing power. You know, but yeah, you know, it's like, especially I appreciate what we're able to do here, especially now during the time of COVID, because that's, you know, when it's not COVID, out on the street doing debriefs with my comrades, that's where we have these conversations, right? Traditionally. And that's where the praxis is tested and the theory is tested. And now that we're not, you know, it's just, there's actions and there's things going on in the street and things being addressed. Things like you said, like rent strikes and houseless issues and this kind of stuff. The things that are really at the fore during a pandemic, right? But once we get over COVID and that street action starts happening with a little more frequency, then yeah, maybe I don't need to talk to your asses as much. No, I'm kidding. But I think that, look, man, to me, these types of dialogues are day one what's most crucial in being an effective leftist is you have to bounce your ideas off of other experienced and knowledgeable leftists to find where your faults are and where your shortcomings are, where your strengths are, where the strengths of the movement are, to help us be reminded of historical materialism in congruence with our dialectical materialism, right? Keeping things in historic context. It's hard to do all that as one person, as some monolith out there trying to messiah complex the world, right? Like, it's not just that working with other people and organizing makes for an effective street action or helps us realize specific goals as leftists, but it makes us better as leftists. It makes us stronger, right? Like, and to have that support network, because look, man, the work that we're doing is, dude, being oppressed people and taking on the fucking struggle of the oppressed. It's hard, man. It's hard. And it's a deeply fucking emotional fucking effort. And sometimes, and the machine we're fighting against is so much bigger and more powerful than us that it's such a daunting fucking struggle, fam. And to have people that understand that and to be able to express that with each other, I just think it's everything, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, it's when I started going out, 20 years ago and learning about protesting, understanding what a real leftist is, then I'm finding out it's like 70%, boring shit and organizing and, like 5% of that those really awesome moments of like learning something new, meeting cool as hell people, and then, 20% actually getting out into the street and doing, whether it be, door to door flyering for some event or, building up some kind of relationship that will eventually turn into, something more powerful. I definitely, my 20 years of becoming an activist, becoming a communist, becoming, and really learning about all this in a hands-on way has been nothing but amazing. Even when it's boring, even when it's slow, even when it's freezing outside, But starting, I mean, we were super, super fans of P4P, just like in hopes that we could one day just get an interview with you, And eventually, from us doing our work, it caught your attention, and you were like, "Hey, wait a second! I think I like what you guys are doing." But that's what it's all about, like that building of a real community. And so it's even when there's arguments going on in the group or discussions that are going on forever, and all the after you hang up, after you get off the chats and everything, you're just like, whoa, holy shit, I learned something. Not only did I learn something, I knew how to put it to use. You know what I mean? And that's what's amazing about the whole P4P family.
and it's not a project with immediate returns, right? Like, it's not like there's big celebratory wins that happen and okay, this week we'll do this and then boom, it'll be that, and then no, it's a slow going process, and like, we have some other offline projects that we've been discussing that we want to work on, and it's a slow going thing putting all the components of it together, right? And like, but again, it's again, I feel like I am definitely I grow exponentially as a leftist by that process, right? But it's important to like state, okay, this is the end goal. Now, how do we get there? Let's work on it together. Fuck, man. We're doing leftist shit now.
Absolutely.
I don't know any other. You know what? Let's talk about Black Power Media. Let's talk about I Mix What I Like, and have you seen what's going on with them? Because I'm kind of blown away at what I've seen over the last week.
Shit out.
So I guess I'll explain. So for people who don't know, Black Power Media it was I Mix What I Like, which is Dr. Jared Ball's channel. It's got about 6,000 subs over there. But he's opened it up to a whole bunch of his comrades, including like Rosa Clement and Culture Renegades. And in the first week, they've had longtime fucking Black Power political prisoners featured on there, veteran Panthers. I covered, it's not up yet. I recorded a What the Fuck report today where I covered a segment of Jared Ball's interview with a Panther from Chicago. Holy shit. The history and the insight that he brings. It's just every hour they're putting out another video that's like talking to frontline fucking veterans and shit, fam. Anyway, I could gush all day about Black Power Media, but I'm about 97% positive it was you comrades that first turned me on to I Mix What I Like. Just not too long prior to this switchover. So
yeah, I started really kind of getting into Jared Ball's show. I mean, it seems like it started taking off right after I started getting in.
That was all Drew. They became famous. I mean, Christ, man.
I know a good product when I see it.
Well, I mean, if you're at all interested in any type of actual legit Panther history, fuck, man, there you go. But Black Power stuff and Black organizing history, just I can't like. Amazing. And like conflicting voices too. It's not all a echo chamber. There's some real head-to-head discussions that go on there. And anyway, go ahead, comrade, you were saying?
I started to say it's at least with Jared Ball's show, it's definitely all a socialist way.
Oh yeah. No, he's definitely utilizing the language of comrade and putting Panther history in its proper fucking revolutionary communist context. And oh man, what is the name? Let me see the I feel bad. I should actually say announce the title of that specific video I was describing earlier, because it has the veteran Panthers name in the title. So yeah, it's Daruba bin Wahad discusses Judas and the Black Messiah is the name of the video. Really, really suggest people check it out. it's like an hour and 49 minutes. And I was like, am I going to commit like 2 hours to this discussion? And it just fucking flew by. It was so powerful, man.
Check out his Jared Paul's discussions on his book, if not his book, The Myth of Black Mind Power. Brilliant.
Cool. Well, look, unless y'all got some thoughts or issues you would really like to talk about, which I'm totally open to, we could probably begin to wrap this conversation up a little bit. But yeah, anybody got any topics they would like to, anything they want to plug or talk about or working on? Looks like we got Stand Up Fight Back coming up to the mic here.
I want you need that shit for going live on YouTube, yeah?
Oh yeah, we could talk about that. So thank you, comrade. So like I've been streaming and doing editing video stuff now on YouTube for about 5 years. This last year, this season 5 is the first time I've been using OBS, and I think I've done a pretty good job of learning it, but I got shit wrong, fam, and there's stuff that I'm just not figuring out, and the last few times I've tried to go live, the stream is all freezing up, and I understand bitrate stuff, I understand how to set this shit up, but like, I'm doing something wrong. And anyway, there's a dude out there. It's his channel is called AWAL, AWALL Digital, AWAL Digital, and he I've watched a number of his tutorials and they've been super helpful. He clearly knows what the fuck he's doing, but he'll offer for basically it's $150. He'll do a one-on-one sit down with you to run through all from step one through every process of properly setting up your OBS to connect with streaming to YouTube and Twitch so we can get a real solid stream. And the thing is, man, like over the years, you know, I'm not rich, man. We've fucking done what we could to come up with the gear we have. I have proper gear now. I have good cameras. I got all the software and everything I need. I just would like to like pay this dude to help me fucking figure out how to properly set this up so we could stream a lot more regular. So we're going to set up, we don't ask for money at P4P. We had a Patreon set up in the first season, and I think we pushed it in about 5 videos, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to ask people for money, man. Like, I'm not an expert. I'm just some fucking punk rock dumb shit that with a few books, okay? Like, but we're starting to build a pretty good following and a pretty good base of followers, and I would really like to be able to bring y'all some proper fucking production quality and content. In our network, you hear just in this discussion, we have at our disposal a lot of really righteous people that I would like to interview on Punks for Progress more regularly. And one of the reasons I don't do this more regularly is because I don't feel confident. You know, fucking leftist organizers are busy people. Aside from their leftist organizing, which is a full-time plus job, they have other jobs and lives and responsibilities they have to take care of. And so to get someone to fucking commit to spending an hour with me to hang out, I want to make sure that my shit's in check, it's on time, it's on point, and it looks good, and I'm reliable for that person. So I'm saying we're going to set up, I'll put together a standalone video with this discussion, and I'll post it later. And when I post this as a standalone video, we'll have links and stuff if people want to donate. It's $150 for this guy to do his thing. And there it is.
I want to add on to that, like if someone donates $20 or more, they get a t-shirt from my shop. I would love to take that on. Or we do the code that I gave you the other day. People can use that for Punks for Progress, order from Stand Up and Fight, and that money will, minus shipping costs, will go straight to the pot to get that done for you.
Man, righteous. Appreciate you, comrade. That's the first time hearing of that. So thank you. So you hear that? Like you donate $20 or more, get a fuck a badass t-shirt, yo. And
t-shirt, stickers, you know, we can do We can do whatever. I still need a picture so we can get some Punks for Progress stuff going. But other than that, anything from my shop, like I'll do a special, or maybe I'll do a special feature just for this campaign. You know, I donated $20 to Punks for Progress. Fuck you, you know, or something like
that. Badass.
Yeah.
Well, hey, on that note, I'm just going to say that much love and fucking appreciation to all of you, fam. Kami Rob, Price Nash, Critical Thought Critique, P4P, Indiana. Thanks so much for fucking hanging for this weekend fam chat. What the fuck report. Let's start doing this every week. We have been having our weekly video conference meetings, which we still need to do, you know, off camera hangout discussions, but man, an hour recorded chat like this was, I had a blast doing this and hanging out with you, and hopefully you as viewers enjoy this too. Before we get out, I'm going to pop in that Stand Up Fight Back ad that has all the links and shows you where you can go to find Stand Up and Fight Back, which is standupfightback.bigcartel.com. I'm sorry, say one more. You kind of cut out. Say it one more time.
As soon as you get all the internet stuff and we get this campaign done to figure out how to stream on YouTube, I'll send you some new stuff and have you make a new video or something. Let's update one that's on the channel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time. It's time. I'd say that ad's about almost a year old now, right?
At least. I think it's might be older, but.
Well, speaking of that, let me drop it in here now, and then I'll just say much love to you, fam, and we'll see you next time on Punks for Progress. Cheers, fam.
What kind of garbage is that? Oops, my anarchy symbol.
For most of these people, honestly, are just imperfect neo-futurist, pop quasi-mentalism, escapism, postmodernist identity regression, as anti-empirical misinterpretations of nihilism.
Slow down.
What's that?
Slow down so they can catch every word. Now say that again.
I'm talking about the imperfect neo-futurist, pop quasi-mentalism, or the escapisms of postmodernist identity regression, as anti-empirical misinterpretations of nihilism with regard to deconstructivist biomechanomorphism, or understanding the quark-reversal superstring paradox, free-feeding Big Bang sentimentalities, the farce of neural network simulation, the ignominy of contemporary procedural analysis, and the recalcitrance of systematic deliberation with regard to the phenomenology of integrated microcircuitry and electronic transmissions of encrypted information, or sustaining the art of perspective as illusion through a meditated observation to universal dynamism, preferential acceptances or dismissals of established objectifications of innate structures and meanings, an extensive and intimate exploration of the vast complexities of self-environment, an unmitigated categorization of impulses and experiences which are both intrinsic and apparently unique to sentient creatures.
Hang on one sec.
It's an inherent and impassioned proclivity to the efficacious presentation of expressible knowledge of communication, a deterministically cautious propensity to the semi-congruous attainment of emotional maturity and psychological awareness, stability, and preservation, with a persistent inclination to the heightened sensibilities of a detachedly informant entity. And a comprehensive recognition of instinctual and cognitive behaviors and of the significances and necessities thereof, with a formal examination of order, the biophysical and neurophysiological constituents of living organisms, their interrelational associations with respect to stimuli, conditions.
Here's how to help build strong bodies 8 ways. Wonder Bread. You want to go bigger and stronger, don't you?
Golly, sure.
Okay.
standard daily and 2 slices of Wonder Bread every meal give you 8 elements you need. As much muscle-building protein as roast beef.
The Mummy.
As much calcium for bones and teeth as cottage cheese. As much phosphorus for cell metabolism as this egg. As much iron for red blood as 3 lamb chops. As much vitamin B1 for appetite as fried liver. As much vitamin B2 for growth as this much cheese. As much niacin for mental health as 6 sardines. As much energy as 2 glasses of milk.